Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Moana 2, the sequel to Disney's beloved 2016 animated film. Released on November 27th, 2024, the movie continues the journey of Moana as she embarks on a new adventure across the Pacific to unite the island peoples. Directed by David Ledoux Miller, Jason Hand, and David Derrick Jr., the film brings back familiar characters and introduces new faces, all set against a backdrop of stunning animation. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As warning, this review will contain some major spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if there's anything you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you, I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Set 3 years after the original, Moana 2 follows Moana as she seeks to break the curse of Nalo, which has isolated various island peoples. Her quest leads her to search for the mythical island of Motufetu, believed to have the power to unite different cultures. Accompanied by the demigod Maui and a new crew of characters, Moana faces challenges that test her leadership and wayfinding skills. If you think this sounds just like the first Moana, you are right. The narrative follows a very similar structure and feels very familiar. Like the first movie, this narrative explores themes of unity, cultural preservation, and the courage to venture into the unknown. It's about exploration and self-discovery. It captures the same tone of adventure and optimism from the first film, encouraging audiences to embrace who they are and overcome adversity. While fun, this movie has a lot less emotional depth than its predecessor. The film is predictable and we don't get any new environments that feel worth exploring. Visually, the film excels with its vibrant animation that brings the Pacific landscape to life. The ocean is beautiful and the islands are lush. It's a dynamic portrayal of seafaring adventures that mimic the original's aesthetic appeal. Growing up, my best friends were Tongans and Samoans. I love the way this movie respectfully portrays the Pacific Islands in their traditional motifs, attires, and personality. Disney does its best diverse work when it focuses on creating multicultural princesses with strong narratives rather than race-swapping existing princesses like Ariel or Snow White. As a Latino, I don't need to see Snow White portrayed by a Latina actress unless she looks the part. I would rather have a banger of a movie like Coco or even Encanto. Sorry, I'll step off my soapbox. The soundtrack in Moana 2 is good, but not nearly as good as the original. You're Welcome, Shiny, and How Far I'll Go were great songs. Moana 2's Beyond and Get Lost are the standouts in this movie, but they don't feel as memorable or original. They somewhat capture the spirit of the first film. Since this is a review of Moana 2, it's only fair that we talk about Moana herself. Au'uli Cravalho reprises her role as Moana and brings maturity to her character as she navigates new responsibilities. Now a respected navigator, she embraces her leadership role and exercises increased confidence. Maui, the demigod, is also reprised by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm not a fan of The Rock's acting, but his voice acting is a completely different game. He's great as Maui, and I appreciate how his character has evolved in this film. He's initially less involved in Moana's quest, but becomes a firm supporter, helping her defeat the storm god Nalo. Rather than be a self-centered demigod, he's a dedicated ally and friend. On their own, these two characters are great in terms of their dynamics and carry this movie. However, they're not on their own. They're joined by a new crew consisting of Moni, Loto, and Kele. Kele is fine. He was in the first movie and he's just a grumpy old man. He's actually kind of funny. The other two crew members are annoying, distracting, and forced. I'm positive Moni and Loto were included in this film to cross off checkboxes. I'm gonna sound so based here, but a submissive fangirl of a man and a strong independent engineer woman who doesn't take orders. Why did we need these characters? We didn't. They only exist to promote toys because they're not funny. In a theater full of families, I didn't hear a single giggle because of these characters. Kelly got some laughs, but the original Hey Hey was the one that got the most giggles out of everyone. Despite the lackluster crew, I enjoyed the character of Matangi. She's a red herring as a villain. She's a vampire-like demigoddess that helps out Moana and Maui against Nalo. She plays a small role in this film, but given the end credits scene, I'm sure she'll play a much larger role in the next film. Nalo is the new villain in this movie. He's very similar to Taka, except he's not a demon of fire and earth poisoning the ocean. Instead, he's the god of storms who is envious of humanity and only wants power for himself. Outside of the end credit, he's only depicted as a purple storm cloud with a face. He's like Galactus in Rise of the Silver Surfer. His storm form is okay, it just feels familiar and unoriginal. Instead, his true form is much cooler. I wish we would have seen him in this form, and I wish we would have explored his motivations a little better. Before I wrap up this review, if you're a parent and you're thinking about taking your kid to see this movie, I'm sure they'll love it. Even if you decide to wait until this movie is on Disney Plus, I promise they'll have fun with it. Is this movie as good as the original? No. The plot is predictable and doesn't really expand upon the first. It feels similar, contrived, and not as impactful because the focus of this movie is to set up a third installment. Lastly, I want to mention that this movie was planned as a Disney Plus series. Because it went from a series to a movie, there are some pacing issues that make the narrative feel disjointed. Again, despite these issues, the movie is still good. Moana 2 is a visually stunning and culturally rich sequel that, while enjoyable, doesn't quite capture the magic of its predecessor. It's a good movie that entertains and carries forward Moana's story and its celebration of themes like unity and courage. However, its predictable plot, lack of emotional depth, and uneven pacing prevent it from reaching the heights of the original. Still, performances by Ali Carvalho and Dwayne Johnson, vibrant animation, and a new soundtrack make it worth watching, especially for fans of the first film. Despite some flaws and a few forgettable new characters, Moana 2 is a solid family movie that sets the stage for an exciting third installment. If you're looking for a film that blends adventure with heart, this one will leave you with a smile. While it may not be as memorable as the original, it's a fun continuation of Moana's journey that kids and families are bound to enjoy. With a box office of 600 million, I think my claims are supported. Anyways, thank you for listening to my review of Moana 2. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.